Hey you! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In today's video, I wanted to share whatever I'm learning about good leadership in the office. So whenever we think about a good manager or a good leader or good leadership in general, what generally comes in our mind is that there is a person who is a manager and then he is leading a team of people. That is the idea that we generally associate with leadership for that matter. However, when it comes to working in IT field, leadership can take a lot of different forms. The type of leadership that I just described is people leadership. However, in IT, leadership can also be seen in the form of a person who is leading an entire process or who is leading an entire effort for that matter. And this is known as process leadership. So in IT, to be a leader, you don't necessarily have to be a manager who is leading a team of people. If there is a task that is assigned to you, if there is a process that is assigned to you, and if you are taking ownership of that process, taking responsibility of that process and making sure that that process happens end to end, that is from the beginning till it finishes, that is also a role of leadership that you're taking. And that would be a great segue to the first point that I'm trying to make. A good leader always takes ownership, always takes responsibility of whatever it is that he or she is leading. It can either be a team of people or a group of people, or it can either be a process or a task that that person has to complete. That is the first and foremost sign of good leadership. Whether they are leading that task or that team with passion and with compassion and with a sense of responsibility towards that task or team. So yeah, the first point is how we are viewing leadership in general, and whether we are taking ownership and responsibility of the task or the team that we are supposed to lead. The second thing that I have observed about a good leader or good leadership in general is how loyal that leader is towards the company, which basically translates to how much tenure he or she has served in the company. I have seen really great leaders who have stuck by a company, stood by a company for, let's say, 15 years or 20 years, even 25 years, even 30 years for that matter. And that shows that how loyal they are. And that loyalty brings about a sense of trust in that person. If ever I am facing a problem as an employee, I can always reach out to the leader who has been in the company for long enough to know how to solve a problem. So, if you want to become a good leader in your company, I think it would make sense for you to stick by the company that you want to lead. And it definitely becomes easier to stick by with a company when the company values and your own life values are in alignment with each other. And I believe that I have talked about this in my previous videos as well, that people usually stick longer in a company if there is alignment in the core values of a person and of the company. So yeah, alignment of core values, which basically translates to loyalty, which then basically translates to longer tenures, and that makes up for a great leader in a company. Now, the third thing that I have observed about a great leader is that they don't have an I mindset, they have a we mindset. And this is also applicable to all the great leaders that I have worked with. All those leaders had one thing in common, that they never thought about themselves first. They always thought about the growth of the company, the growth of their own team that they're leading, or how they can lead a task in the best possible way. They never thought about their own growth. They obviously may have thought about it, but always on the sidelines. They always prioritized their team first, their company first. They never really cared about the gain that they are getting from leading a task or a team. So yeah, for you to become a good leader in your company, and I believe that I have mentioned this in the previous video as well, you need to ditch the me, myself and I mindset, and you need to adopt the V mindset, the growth mindset, which basically thinks in terms of how can I make my company grow and how can I make my team grow. That's the third thing that I have observed about great leaders, and I have loved working with those kind of leaders. I have always remembered them, even if I have left the company altogether. I have remembered that great leader for being this way, for being so nurturing, for being so caring, and for always thinking in terms of the team and company growth. Coming on to the fourth thing that I have observed about great leadership, and it's that good leaders and great leaders, they are not control freaks. They will never ever want to micromanage you. They would never want to spoon feed you. They would never want things to go according to only and only their way. So they don't have this my way or the highway mindset at all. They have this ability to trust their team and trust the team's efforts, and that is what makes them really good at delegating tasks. And to be very honest with you, this is an aspect that I personally struggle with a lot. I feel that I am a person who likes control. I am a person who likes to see things happening only her way, and sometimes I tend to take this approach of my way or the highway kind of thing. It's very hard for me to let go of the control that I have over a situation. But trust me, nobody really likes to work with a person who is like that. Personally speaking, even I don't want to work with another person who is a control freak and doesn't really want to let go of the control and has trust issues with the team. I'm currently working on this aspect of mine where I can just let things be for a while and not try to control each and every small thing about a process or people that I'm working with, because it's impossible for me to do that. I cannot really control each and everything, and that is why it is rightly said that there is freedom in letting go. And once you create that atmosphere of freedom, that people are allowed to do whatever they wish to do, as long as it's not hampering the company or the progress of a task, people should be allowed to experiment with their own work ethic, experiment with their freedom, because that is the zone of creativity. People, when they get into this experimental mode, they can come up with really creative solutions to a problem. And as a leader, you need to allow that to happen. You need to create that safe space, to create that freedom for your team to be experimental, to be creative with the solutions that they're bringing. And how to create that atmosphere of freedom is to show that you trust your team, to show that you believe in your team and you believe in the potential of what each and every person in your team has to bring to the table. So yeah, a great leader always creates this environment of freedom. They always have faith in their team, they always have trust in their team, they always believe their team that their team can achieve great things together. Alright, another thing that I have observed about a great leader is that they do not have egos. They are always willing to learn with the team, they are always willing to grow with the team and not ahead of the team. They don't consider themselves as a leader in the first place, if that makes sense. They consider themselves a part of the team. They don't try to create this environment where they hold that leadership position and then everyone else is a team member. They always try to bring about leadership qualities and leadership aspects in the people they're working with. So basically, they work with the people as a part of the people, as a part of the team, and they are always willing to learn with the team. They accept that they don't know everything and that there is always room for improvement, there is always room for learning, and so they're always very inquisitive, always willing to learn and always open to new ideas, new learnings and feedback as well. So yeah, all the great leaders I have worked with, they never had any ego issues. They were always trying to learn stuff with my help, with the help of the team. They were very accepting of the fact that they don't know everything and they need some time to learn. So yeah, continuous learning is a big deal for a good leader. They don't really know everything at the moment and they do accept that. And I guess that is their biggest strength. So yeah, these are some of the things that I am learning about good leadership that I thought to share with you all. I am also at a point in my career where I am not really leading people, but then I'm leading processes and I'm leading tasks. I'm taking ownership, I'm taking responsibility wherever I can. And I think that that is the transition phase that I'm at. When I can show that I can lead processes, it ultimately builds up the company's faith in me that I can lead people as well. And so this is a tip for everyone who's watching this video and is on the verge of being a manager, but then they need that extra thing to really prove that they are good managers. And that tip would be that start leading processes, start taking ownership, start taking responsibility, think in terms of company growth, trust the people that you are working with so that it's easier for you to delegate the task. Always make sure that you have this mindset of continuous learning. These things can definitely help you take that leap in your career and start leading teams. So yeah, that would be all. I hope that the time that you spent on this video was useful to you. You learned something of value through this video. If you watched till the end, thank you so much for watching. I am always and forever so grateful for you giving time to my videos. I hope to see you soon. Till then, take care.